The devil whispered in my ear, "You're not strong enough to withstand the storm." I whispered back in the devil's ear, "I love your eggs." This video is part of my 2021 Thanksgiving series, so if you haven't caught the other ones, check out the playlist. There's a bunch of videos on there, and at this point a few more are going to be added, and if you're watching this after Thanksgiving, well, watch the whole playlist. Get yourself some good holiday recipe ideas. So I'm making these today, which is a Sunday. Since Chick-fil-A is not open, I'm making deviled eggs, because it's perfectly fitting, I think. So we jumped into this Thanksgiving series, releasing side dishes, and I forgot about an appetizer, a hors d'oeuvre, if you will. Hey, you need to be able to feed your guests while they're waiting for the main dish to be done. So, deviled eggs, they're perfect. Why are they perfect? Because they're delicious. They're portable. You can prep them, take them to a family member's house, finish the prep there, and they're perfect. They're delicious. And the great thing about deviled eggs, not only are they delicious when you eat them, but you get to share them with your family for hours afterwards. It's amazing. Check it out. We're going to do it now. This is delicious. Let's get it done. So the first thing we need for deviled eggs is hard-boiled eggs. So 12 eggs into an empty large pot. To this large pot, we're going to add enough water so there's about a 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches above the egg, because that extra water is going to hold heat and help cook them. So use your finger. You know what an inch and a half is. I'm sure of it. That's what you got. Put the lid on. Crank your stove up to 11 and let this come to a rolling boil. There we go, rolling boil. Once it hits that point, you're going to turn the stove off and leave it. Don't take the lid off, don't take it off the stove, just leave it. 12 minutes later, we have perfectly hard-boiled eggs. I guarantee it. Take them off the heat. Now in a large bowl, we're going to add ice. Then we're going to add enough water to this so our eggs will fit, but not overflow. So you want a good amount of water, and then we're going to transfer our eggs into this. And transferring the eggs into this will not only stop the cooking process and not overcook them, it'll cool them down, which is kind of what we want. So slotted spoon, one at a time, get all our eggs in there until you have a full dozen eggs chilling in the ice bath. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's really not that beautiful, but it's going to be beautiful. Half a pound of bacon. We're going to cut it into, quarter to a half-inch strips. We're going to fry this up crispy, so sharp knife. I didn't bother freezing it this time, which was fine. There we go. It's cut up, and now into the frying pan on medium heat. We're going to get this nice and crispy. So get it all in there, medium heat, and let it crisp up. There we go. When it's foamy and red brick in color, it's right where it needs to be. We're going to use another slotted spoon and remove it from the grease onto paper towels to not only drain off the grease, but we need to cool this down because we need to handle this. And grabbing bacon right out of the frying pan is not a pleasant feeling. So spread it out, give it some surface area, let it cool. Don't flick it out of the bowl. Put it off to the side, and we'll move on to peeling our eggs. Everybody has their own method. People crack one end and blow on it. I like to crack the shell gently and then drop it into some water. This is just cold tap water. Once they're all cracked, that water will hopefully seep between the shell and the egg and be easier to peel. Now, I have giant freaking hands, and I'm not exactly the best with delicate work. I'm kind of a savage as far as that goes. So gently take your time. You want to peel all your eggs, get all the shell off. Peeling it in water is nice because if there's any little fragments of shell stuck to it, when you dunk it, they'll just kind of float off, which is also very nice. And you're not running a sink while you're doing it and wasting water. So take your time, get them peeled. If you make little pock marks and little divots, don't worry about it. The key thing is you don't want to crack it all the way through. So little dimples is okay. Once these are prepared, they're going to be upside down. Now they're all peeled, they're in a bowl, they're off to the side. I just love the way this bowl reflected them. Looks like butt cracks, right? I find that funny. So now, put that off to the side. We're going to cut up our bacon. This is going to go into the egg yolk mix, the filling. So take your knife, run it through again, run it through sideways. We're kind of going for a consistency of like coffee grounds, not, it doesn't have to be completely pulverized. For this small amount, running a knife is fine. If I was doing a lot of bacon, I'd bust out the food processor, but for this, it's fine. You don't want it Miami thin, so you don't have to break out the credit card and cut lines. You know, just coffee grounds is kind of where you're going. There we go. We'll put that off to the side. And now we'll cut our eggs. So with your utility knife, you're going to cut them in half gently and pop the yolks out. There we go. And we're going to do this for the whole dozen. There we go. And that's it. If a little bit of yolk sticks inside, you can use the back edge of the tip of the knife just to kind of pop it out. If a little tiny bit of crumbs are left stuck in there, it's not a big deal. So there we go. They're all out. They're all in the bowl. Now it's time to put the rest of our filling together. So we're going to take that bacon that we cut up, and we're going to get that into the bowl. Then we're going to go with 1/4 cup of high-quality mayonnaise, the best you can find and afford. Do not use Miracle Whip. Don't. Just don't. I prefer for deviled eggs to use the mayonnaise that's popular in the north of the country, not the one that's popular in the south of the country. While delicious, not the right flavor. 2 tablespoons of prepared mustard. I'm using a spicy brown variety. If you're feeling fancy, feel free to use Dijon. 2 tablespoons of prepared sweet pickle relish. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt in there. We can check and adjust seasoning once it's all mixed up, but you want to put a little bit of salt. And of course, freshly ground black pepper, because fresh ground is maximum flavor. Now with a sturdy fork, we're going to get this mix. We're going to break those yolks up. They're going to start to absorb that mayonnaise and the juice from the relish and the mustard. They're going to, it's all going to come together. So we're kind of going to rehydrate the yolks. So mash them up, mix it up. You want this to be as mixed as possible. Right there we go. So we're not ready yet. We don't want to stuff it yet because some more hydration needs to happen. Cover it with plastic film. Put it in the fridge for about a half hour or so. Here we are a half an hour later. And we're just going to take a spoon and give this a nice solid mixing. Taste it for seasoning. See if you need to add any salt, pepper, or anything else. If it's super thick and too firm to work with right here, you can just add a touch of mayonnaise. Now, if you have a fancy piping bag, feel free to use it. I don't happen to have one, so a zip top bag of the freezer variety works. I put it in bottom corner first, then I spoon the mix on top, or not really on top, but inside, you know what I mean. Put it in. You're going to try and get as much air out as you can and zip it up closed. Now, if you did this right, you'll have a little air bubble right at the very tip of the corner, and we're going to cut that out, and we're going to pipe through that corner. This works perfectly, but if you have the piping bag with the fancy design, use it. See that corner? That's what we want right there. We're going to cut that off. So we got our eggs on a plate. We're going to cut it off. Now, this is very important. Pay attention to, if that falls off the scissor, where it goes. You want to find it, you want to pick it up, and you want to make sure it goes in the garbage because it's really hard to see, and you don't want that in your eggs. That would not be delicious. So now we'll just pipe it in there. There you go. Give the bag a twist on the end and squeeze, and it comes right out. If you have the piping bag, gives nice pattern, it makes it pretty. If you have it and want to use it, go for it. If you want to be easy and cheap. Oh, look at this. I had to do this. That was just funny. I had to do it. But if you want the fancy design, use a piping bag. If not, this is perfect. Now, paprika on top. Very important. Most important thing of deviled eggs. Now, you can use paprika. I'm using smoked paprika because I think that's the best flavor for this. You can use sweet paprika or regular paprika. You could use cayenne. I know a guy that puts cayenne on everything. You can, whatever you want, but you need that kind of red sprinkly color. Now, the bacon that we didn't cut up is going to go on top as some garnish. For some reason, I was going like a tombstone thought. Put one on there. You can decorate it however you want with the rest of the bacon. Decorating is up to you. This is just how I did it. So we're going to get all of those in, and now I have some green onion. You can use chive. I couldn't find any good-looking chives, so I used green onion for it. Sliced it kind of at a steep angle, so it's got long slivers like that. And we're just going to decorate all of them because you need some lawn clippings. So here we go. Going to make them all pretty. So your guests will look at it and be like, ooh, these look amazing. And then you look at them and say, they taste even amazinger. So So there we go. They're all decorated. They're beautiful. Time to shove it in our face. These are probably one of my favorite little snacky things. These are great for football games. I mean, look at how pretty that is. Look at that. We've got top view. Where is it? There it is. I'm classy. Pinky up. Oh, wow. Bacon and eggs. So there you have it, folks. Deviled eggs. Bacon deviled eggs. These are probably the most delicious deviled eggs you'll ever have in your life. I guarantee it. And if you don't like this recipe, well, that's your own problem. If you tried this out, you want to let me know how you did, drop it down in the comments. You got a suggestion of something you want to see me make? Drop that down in the comments. You want to tell me I suck? Drop that down in the comments. But the most important thing is that you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.